Yo, what's up, my people? I am back with another tier list, and this time around we're doing Cobra Kai, or I guess the Miyagiverse. I originally wanted to do a Cobra Kai tier list, but I thought, you know what? Let's just let's just rank it all of them, every Karate Kid movie and the Cobra Kai seasons. So the tier list has changed. It would have been like 6-1, but now I've changed it. So we got the trash tier at the bottom, we got the bad tier, we got the okay tier, we got the good tier, we have the amazing tier, and then we have the peak tier being the best of the best. I probably should have named it best of the best, but that's okay. All right. So let's get started with the original Karate Kid movie. Now, this film is gonna go all the way. Do I want to put it at peak and amazing? Because I'm not sure peak or amazing. Let's throw it in peak for now. This is the start of everything, right? This is really where the Karate Kid franchise began. The story of Daniel LaRusso moving into California, being harassed by Johnny and all the Cobra Kais at school, and then learning how to fight or learning Miyagi-Do from Mr. Miyagi himself, right? It's a very simple story. It's a very good. It's a very like heartfelt movie. It's a very comforting movie. It's a very entertaining karate film, right? Karate films, I guess, or martial art films were weren't exactly like this one around the time of its release. This is a very like light-hearted karate story centering around teenagers and like karate tournaments, and it is a very simple film, and it was very entertaining, right? Um, Obviously I wasn't around in the 80s when when this movie first came out, but um, I've watched it probably 4 or 5 times, and I genuinely dig this movie. I think it's a perfect start to this whole universe. So I think it'll stay in peak. I think it'll stay in peak. It'll probably stay in peak. All right. Then next we have the Karate Kid part. Oh shoot! I just realized this is the Karate Kid 3. Oh my days. Okay. In that case, then I will put that in okay. Because while I do think there's a lot of great moments in this movie, there's also not a lot of great moments in this movie. I just realized I messed up the whole thing. Here's the original Karate Kid. And what I say still stands, obviously. So it's going in peak, right? Then there's the Karate Kid Part 2. And this is going in amazing. This is an amazing movie, honestly. I really dig the changing setting, moving from California to Okinawa. That was a very interesting change. I really dig characters of Chosen and Kumiko and Uncle Sato. I think this movie was very entertaining, and it's definitely like had some of the most high highs of any of the Karate Kid movies, in my opinion. With Daniel and Chosen's battle to the death, and all that little stuff. Yeah, this is an amazing movie, but I don't think it's as consistently amazing, or I guess perfect in this case, as the Karate Kid, the original. So yeah, it's going in amazing. And then we have the next Karate Kid, which uh honestly, it's I really don't. I have a soft spot for the Miyagi verse because I love Cobra Kai so much. But honestly, this one's kind of bad. I'm not gonna lie. Hilary Swank is great, and as Julie Pierce, and Mr. Miyagi is obviously great. But I mean, this movie isn't really that special, and I'm pretty sure it only had like one fight scene from what I remember. This film is very. eh, It's just kind of mid, and I mean, people wanted to see Julie Pierce's character return in Cobra Kai, and I just wasn't one of those people. I just this movie didn't win me over, so it's going in bad, honestly. But I won't say it's trash. Like it's not the worst thing ever. Then Jaden Smith movies. We all have a soft spot for these movies, and for good reason. Jackie Chan, Jaden Smith. Honestly, this is them at their peak. Honestly, this is some of Jackie Chan's best work, which is a crazy thing to say because Jackie Chan has a lot of great work, right? In my personal opinion, I think this is one of his better movies. I really dig him in this movie, playing the mentor role and teaching Jaden Smith's Dre Parker kung fu. I really wish they hadn't named this movie The Karate Kid, but again, um, ultimately did end up helping them in um, increasing sales, I guess, for the movie because it's basically a cash grab title. You see The Karate Kid, people are gonna go and watch it, right? But it also it's also a kung fu movie. Like the kids in this, they learn kung fu. They're in China. It doesn't really make sense to call it the Karate Kid if it's kung fu. But it ultimately ended up working out because we it ended up tying into the Miyagiverse. So it's honestly pretty perfect. But yeah, it's an amazing movie. I wouldn't say it's perfect. There's definitely a few issues I have here and there. But honestly, um, pretty great movie. And also, that kid Cheng is a flippin' menace, dude. Like straight up, man. I wish we got to see more of him, but yeah. And then we are getting into Cobra Kai, right? Cobra Kai season one, fresh start to this entire universe. I'm putting it at amazing. I don't think it's peak, right? But it is amazing, right? This movie is awesome, all right? It is an awesome, not movie, man, series. This series is awesome. We all know Johnny Lawrence, um, washed up, degenerate in his 50s, decides, you know what? I'm reopening Cobra Kai and I'm looking for students. And the student that we get is Miguel Diaz. And Miguel Diaz, when you first meet him, is low key a dork, right? But then he goes from being a dork to being an All Valley champion within 6 months. And the 6 months time period that the season takes place in is just it's just incredible. It's just amazing to see. I guess for people who were longtime fans of the Karate Kid universe, back when they used to watch the Karate Kid movies, they were probably really hyped for this show, right? I can only imagine the level of hype that people had when this show was announced and when it was released, and it ended up being really good. Like sequels normally, like a sequel series shouldn't work the way that this one did, but it managed to, and it released on YouTube Red, which is crazy. So yeah, this first season phenomenal. No complaints. Only reason why it's not peak is because I don't think it's the best season of Cobra Kai. And in my personal opinion, it's not in my top three Cobra Kai seasons. Okay. Um, then we have Cobra Kai, 2, season 2, and this is just good. Okay. I don't think there's any bad Cobra Kai seasons, right? But this one's just good. There's definitely some issues that I have, especially with the dynamics between Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai. There really isn't a good side or a bad side. They're kind of both just a-holes to each other the whole time. And it's kind of just like they're wrestling back and forth. Daniel's upset with Johnny and wants to take down Cobra Kai, but Johnny's also upset with Daniel and believes Miyagi-Do is the enemy because Daniel's training his son. And it's just like they're going back and forth being a-holes to each other, and there's no clear side to root for because there's a lot most our main characters are split up in both camps. So sometimes you root for the one side and then sometimes you root for the other, right? And it just gets a bit confusing, right? But I will say though, the school fight is one of the best fight scenes in this entire series, and I love the school fight. Devastating ending, as we all know. Our go-to Miggy fell from the second floor. Yeah, but I mean, it's still Cobra Kai, so it's still great. But this season does get bumped down a bit for certain issues in regards to the dynamics between the main characters, I guess. So yeah, that's gonna be good. Then there's season 3, which was actually a nice return to form in terms of the Johnny Miguel relationship. I'm putting it in amazing. And in all honesty, this was the very first season that when I watched Cobra Kai season 1 and 2, I was like, okay, this is a really good show. This is a really good show, and I got hyped after the end of season 2. I was like, okay, okay. Season 3 is basically the season that solidified for me that this was going to be one of my all-time favorite shows. This, this whole karate war that's going on between these teenagers and also the senseis. It's just so flipping entertaining, man. The action gets bumped up a little bit. We get to see some different Like we get to see a switch up in certain areas, right? Robbie's now in juvie. Miguel's learning how to walk again, so we get that Johnny and Miguel dynamic as Johnny's helping him recover again. And we see Sam and Dimitri and the other Miyagi Dos trying their best to uphold what they've been taught, but at the same time, they're tired of taking Cobra Kai's crap. Hawk and all his fellas, they're messing around with Miyagi Do. So there's a bit of conflict between the two, as same with the previous two seasons. Like, there's a lot to love about this. And also the callbacks to the previous Karate Kid movies. We got the return of Ali, we got Chosen, we got Kumiko. Like, this season was just so flippin' cool, man. And December 19th is still one of my favorite episodes of the entire show. So that's definitely an amazing season of television. And now we have season four, which, yeah, this is going to peak. This is our next peak. Yeah, season four is this is just Cobra Kai at some of its performing at its highest level. This is Cobra Kai at its highest level, right? I'm talking like everything is just like a build up to the tournament, right? We're building up to the All Valley, and the All Valley in this season was even bigger than the last one, and it was split into a two-part like finale, dude, like two episodes. This finale was freaking awesome. I absolutely loved every single second of it. It was amazing. The Hawk versus Robbie fight, Tori and Sam's fight, Miguel doing that sweet 360 spin kick, dude. Like there was so much awesomeness in that tournament. Robbie absolutely destroying Kenny. Like there was just so much to love about that fourth season. Johnny and Daniel teaming up to train the students. The dynamics between the two of them. They have a bit of conflict here and there, but they're learning to work together. Johnny training the Miyagi Dos, Daniel training the Eagle Fangs. Like it was just such a cool way. There was so many cool things that they did with this season, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And of course, I mean the star of the show, man, Thomas Ian Griffith coming back as Terry Silver, dude, absolutely phenomenal, bro, absolutely phenomenal. And the introduction of new characters, Devin, Kenny, especially Kenny, who helped Robbie's character develop really well. This is just a phenomenal season. I absolutely love this season, and it's one of my most rewatched seasons. Honestly, it's just so good. And then we have season five, which is gonna go in amazing, like low amazing tier. Simply because it does take a while to kick in. Like it's a very slow start with this one, right? But once it does pick up, right? You like after episode like episode 5 onwards, it's just nonstop action. The story's picked up. We're following the track. We're trying to stop Cobra Kai. We're trying to bring them down, and it's just like an epic karate soap opera in like the best way possible. Some of the fight scenes, Terry and Chosen at Terry Silver's mansion, Johnny fighting the five senseis, Daniel having his first fight with Terry Silver, and then having a second fight at the very end. And there's just so much going on in this season. It was so peak. Miguel and Robbie fighting at the apartment building. Flipping like there's just so much good stuff here. There's so much action. It's so awesome. It's just an awesome season. Um, it does again pick start off slow. We're following Miguel trying to meet his dad, so we have to follow through that plot line. And then with other characters, there's not really much going on. We're all just trying to look for Miguel. We're all looking out for Miguel. It's a bit of a slow start. There's still some fun to be had, obviously, with Chosen infiltrating Cobra Kai. There's still some fun stuff there, but it's definitely a bit slower than the second half of the season. And when the second half of the season kicks in, like it's kicked in. Like it just gets turned up to 11. So yeah, that's season five, and then season six, part one. Originally, I would have just ranked it like season six all as one, but for the purposes of this specific tier list, this is gonna go in. This is gonna go in okay. Like, see, part one is definitely the weakest of the bunch of Cobra Kai. Of Cobra Kai, right? If we're splitting it into parts, then it's if we're splitting it into parts and treating it as a separate season, then yeah, it's definitely the weakest season in inverted commas in Cobra Kai. There's not really much going on. We're just getting ready for the tournament. We're prepping. There's some cool fights here and there, frat house party, stuff like that. Like it's okay, right? The highlight is Robbie and Miguel's fight for the captain spot, which was really amazing, and Robbie finally getting a win, like an official like non cheated win on Miguel is just it was really nice to see because I love Miguel and I love Robbie. So I want Miguel to win some, but I also want Robbie to win some, you know? So it was nice to see Robbie finally get that win, you know? And there's really not much else I can say about part one. We were just getting ready for the tournament. Tori's mom dying was definitely a shocking and emotional moment. I actually felt really terrible for her. She's one of my favorite characters, so I kind of felt for her in that moment. It was really sad. But yeah, other than that, there's really not much going on in part one, I guess. We were just getting ready for the tournament. Oh, and we got introduced to Quan, which is really cool. Yeah. So yeah, that was really cool to see. And then we got season six, part two, which is gonna go in amazing, actually. Season six, part two. Yeah, this one is just nonstop action. Actually, like this was just like we're at the Saikai Taikai now. We're in the tournament, so every single fight scene is basically like all tournament stuff, right? We had some amazing highlights in terms of the tournament fights. The first group fight, the all the group fights that we had, Miguel's 2v1 against Dublin Thunder, those platform fights was sick. We got Robbie versus Quan. We got a bit of Robbie versus Axel. We had the massive brawl. Like there was just so much action in this one, right? The thing that I would say would prevent it from being like peak is that I do think that Zara and Axel were introduced very late. I wish they had been introduced in part one like Quan was, so that at least we had a bit more with them because Zara and Axel, well, Zara mostly comes off as very one dimensional. And I definitely think they could have done something interesting with her character, but unfortunately, it just didn't line up, I guess, because she was introduced really late. But other than that, I mean, Axel had a bit more dimension to him. He was definitely a bit more interesting. But yeah, I just wish they Zara and Axel and all these Iron Dragons were introduced much earlier. And then season six, part three. Oh yes, this is my favorite thing to ever come out of the Miyagiverse. This is the most satisfying, most brilliant, most perfect conclusion to a TV series that I've ever seen. I love it so much. I love part three. I will rewatch season six just to get to part three and then watch part three like a million times just because it's just so good. Like the last two episodes specifically, I will rewatch those like 100 times, bro, if I could. Like the part three was just perfect. The wrapping up of all the storylines. We got Robbie. Oh, I feel so bad for Robbie, man. He could have won. He really could have won. But I loved seeing him shine, actually landing points on Axel. Their fight was really entertaining. I say it's honestly one of the most like well choreographed fights in the series and in season six. It was really great to see. Unfortunately, he didn't make it. He could have really won, though. He could have won. But, you know, it is what it is. He's happy because he's got a great future ahead of him. So there's no need to be upset, right? Miguel winning the world tournament was absolutely fantastic to see. It was so peak. That those last 2 minutes when Johnny told him to give Axel the best 2 minutes of karate that he has in him, Miguel went absolutely insane. It was amazing to see Tori absolutely handing it to Zara in her fight for the world champion was absolutely phenomenal. That kick that she did at the end, freaking gainer kick. Oh my days. Levels, there's levels to this game, bro. Freaking levels to this game. Absolutely beautiful. Love that Tori got her win, Miguel got his win, and then Johnny at the very end got his win. And it was just the best conclusion ever. And we got to see what the futures are going to be looking like for all the characters. And I'm really happy that they closed this wonderful, wonderful series on such a high note. And that's why it is at the peak spot. It is at the top best of the best, right? And then we have Karate Kid Legends, which is kind of a sour way to end this because this movie's just okay, honestly. Like, it, if it was longer, the issue is with the pacing and the length of the film. If the film was a half an hour longer, this would have been like amazing, almost amazing. Like They could have done so much with this movie. The introduction of Li Fang, this new character in the Miyagiverse, really cool. Kung Fu and karate mixed together, being trained by Mr. Han and Daniel LaRusso, sick stuff. The Five Boroughs was pretty good, although again it was rushed, just like everything else in this movie. Like this movie just really suffers from pacing, being rushed. But apart from that, it's a good movie. It's a good movie, you know. Um, it actually no. I'm trying. I'm propping it up. I'm trying like not to say that it's like it's mediocre, but it's just so okay. Like I really want to say the movie's good, but like I can't justify it because I do dig the action. I do like the story between Li Fong and Mia. Like that stuff was nice, but like it's just so okay. Like I can't really say that it is like truly good. It could have been good, but yeah, it was just rushed, man. But you know, it's still not the worst thing ever. It's still far from the worst thing ever. So that's why I guess the okay spot. And then yeah, I guess nothing was trash. So W to the Miyagi verse for not making anything that's absolute like an absolute abomination. Can't really say the same much. Say you can't really say the same about many other franchises like the MCU and Terminator, Star Wars. Like they got trash, right? And I love all those franchises. They got trash though. But with the Miyagiverse, it seems that they've built themselves a very solid collection. So yeah, that's pretty much going to be the end of this video. Honestly, I don't want to delay anything further. Thank you guys so much for watching if you watched all the way to the end. And I will see you guys in my next video. Peace.